Good morning. Hopefully you're all having fun in your quarantine. This week we are going to be learning of how to read and balance chemical equations. But the first step that we have to do is learn how to read them. So here I have a chemical equation. We have nitrogen plus hydrogen yields ammonia. What does any of that mean? Well, we're not going to worry so much about the names, the nitrogen, hydrogen, and ammonia. We're going to worry about, if I give this to you, can you read it and figure out what it means? There are 4 different parts we're going to talk about in reading this today. First is, when I give you the periodic table, one of the parts of it is the chemical symbol. That comes important because when we do chemical equations, like we have here, we're not going to write out the word nitrogen. We're not going to write out the word hydrogen. We're not going to write out the word ammonia. We're going to use the symbols of what they're made of. So, every single time that you see these letters, these are the symbols, chemical symbols. These will represent what elements are in your chemical equation. The second thing you'll notice is attached to many of them, you have a little number here. This is the number of atoms in a molecule. Now, you might ask, what is a molecule? A molecule is several atoms that have bonded together. So, this right here is a molecule of ammonia. 1 nitrogen and 3 hydrogen. So, if you do not see a number next to it for the number of atoms, you can assume just like in math, if you don't see something next to it, you can assume that there is a 1 right there. So we have 1 nitrogen. If there is a number next to it, that is the number of atoms that are in that molecule. So here you have 3 hydrogen in this molecule, 2 hydrogen in this molecule, and 2 nitrogen in this molecule. The third part that we need to talk about is a thing called the coefficient. You'll notice 2 of these molecules have another number next to them. This is the coefficient. The coefficient tells you how many molecules are present. Same thing with the symbol here. If there is not a number with it, you can assume that it is an imaginary 1, that there is only 1 of that. But if you do have a number, that tells you there are multiple molecules of it. There are 3 molecules of this hydrogen and 2 molecules of this ammonia. Finally, we need to talk about each side. This entire side is called the reactants side. And this entire side is called the products side. The main thing that you can tell of which side is which is what way the arrow is pointing. The arrow will always point from reactants, what is reacting, to the products, what is produced. So, we have 4 different parts to this chemical equation. First off, we have the chemical symbols, which represent what elements are used in our equation. Second, we have the number of atoms in each molecule, which remember, a molecule is several atoms bonded together. Sometimes they'll bond with themselves. It could be 2 nitrogen bonding with each other or 2 hydrogen bonding with each other. Most of the time, however, you will get different elements. And one of these is a molecule. And this number tells you how many atoms are in each molecule. Third, you have your coefficient. How many of each molecule is present? 1 nitrogen, 3 hydrogen makes 2 ammonia. And finally, you have the reactants, which are those that are reacting. This arrow represents a chemical reaction, and the product side, what is produced. So, the next video we have will be, how do we figure out these coefficients? If I give you just a blank slate where I erase the coefficients, and I just give you nitrogen plus hydrogen equals ammonia, how can you figure out what numbers we need to put there? That will be our next lesson.